Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we talk Breeders' Cup with the Big A, Anthony Stabile, Day 2 from Lexington, Kentucky at Keeneland Race Course. And it is the Classic and plenty of races. In fact, 9 of them on Saturday, and it wraps up with the Classic at 5:13 Eastern at the post time. And a lot to really digest here with that race and the others as we bring Anthony Stabile on. And Anthony, always a great finish here. The Classic with some horses. Tis the Law, who won Belmont, also Improbable. Those are 2 of the favorites here going into the Classic.
They don't call it the Classic for nothing, Kevin. Some of the greatest results in Breeders' Cup history, some of the greatest stretch battles have come in this race. And this field, you know, the 1998 Breeders' Cup Classics is the high water mark. That's what all of these races inspire to be. This is a pretty good field from top to bottom, and I like it for 2 reasons. You have all the major players. Swiss Skydiver, who the Connections decided to run her in the staff. We'll talk about that in a minute. She's the only thing missing from this renewal of the Classic. I think you have all the horses in the older horse division and the 3-year-olds that you would want in this race. So I'm looking forward to it, A, because it's going to be a good horse race. As a fan, these are the horses you want to see. As a gambler, I don't like some of the favorites in here, namely 2 of them. So I think this is a race where we can make some money. I'm a pick 4 and a pick 5 guy. All of those plays, part of the pick packs available over at VegasInsider.com. We talk about some live long shots in the Breeders' Cup betting guide over at VI as well. And this is an instance where I'm actually making my live long shot the top pick. Let's talk about who I don't like first. I don't like Improbable. You're going to hear people say horses dressed up a lot. Well, this horse is as dressed up as it gets. He's won 3 consecutive Grade 1s. He beat absolutely no competition in the Gold Cup at Santa Anita 3 starts back. In the Whitney, Tom's Day Tot went to his knees, stumbled badly at the start. It was only a 5-horse field. Improbable sat second and just gobbled up the horse on the lead. Tom's D'Etat was miraculous for him to run 3rd. And then last time in a 5-horse field in the Awesome again, 4 of them lined up fighting for the lead. He sat 5th, swooped the group, and that was it. He's as dressed up as they come. I don't really believe he's a 1.25 mile horse. He's your 5-2 morning line favorite. If Improbable wins, I'm tearing my tickets up. I don't like him. I don't like Maximum Security. Another horse I never really thought was a 1.25 mile horse. Bob Baffert did a good job with him, getting him ready in the San Diego. He was able to walk the dog on an easy lead in the Pacific Classic 2 starts back. Again, beating nothing. The horse he beats, Sharp Samurai, is a turf miler. They ran him 1.25 miles on the dirt. And then last time out, when things didn't go his way, in the Awesome again, he was between horses. He was off the pace. He got beat a long way by Improbable. So they're the 2 I'm playing against. In fact, if Bob Baffert were to win the Breeders' Cup Classic, and I don't even like him necessarily, I think it would be with the Kentucky Derby winner, Authentic, who may be able to, if he's the speed of the speed, get away from them. I think it's down to 4 horses. I think Tom's D'Etat can win this race. If there's some speed, he comes running. He hasn't run since August 1st, so that's asking a lot of the 7-year-old, but he's a really nice horse, and if he gets the pace and the trip and Joel Rosario times the move right, I think he's very, very logical. Global Campaign gets Javier Castellano for training Stan Huff. I think he'll be sitting just off the pace, if not part of the pace, depending on how fast they go early on. The horse that I think is the most likely winner of the race is Tis the Law. Going in, I really like Tis the Law. I don't like Post 2. This is a horse where it's been, chronicled he wants to be outside of horses. Yeah, he has some speed, but there are faster horses outside of him. They'll be able to put him in a little bit of a spot, whereas jockey Manny Franco is going to have to get him out of it. I think he will, and I think he's probably the most talented horse in this race. I'm going back to my old friend one more time. I bet Passive. And a lot of people are going to think I'm making the selection with my heart. Fact of the matter is this. Bill Mott made the decision to run this horse. Told me so on the Horse Racing Radio Network. Bill Mott has always thought this horse has his name's on one of these big races. And he's finally going to be able to get the right trip. He's going to be able to save ground. when he wasn't something he wasn't able to do in the Belmont Stakes when he was wide against the Golden Rail. He's not going to have to be on the lead like he was last time in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He's going to be able to save some ground, have real pace in front of him, and maybe be one of the first ones to come calling on the far turn. On top of all that, he's going to be one of the longest shots on the board. And in a race where I think a lot of these horses have some flaws, including him, you want to look for a little value. He offers the value. I made him the top pick.
That's a $6 million purse, the Classic. There are 8 races prior to the Classic on Saturday, Anthony. And some of the news coming out midweek about, or at least in the sprint, Vekoma, who was the favorite of that race, is pulling out. And we can look at some of these races now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Vekoma, another one of the stars. It's been hard to keep him on the racetrack now. Not necessarily an anatomical issue. He has a fever. So he's out. Who knows what they're going to do with him? Maybe we've seen the last of Vekoma. I think, I'll tell you what, Kevin, I've been a fan of the sport since I was born. I followed every Breeders' Cup. I've covered the last 21 of them in some way on newspaper, radio, TV. Of course, one of my favorite gigs at Vegas Insider. I've been doing it for over a dozen years now. This is the toughest Breeders' Cup I can remember top to bottom. Forget about the fact that it's 14 races now. Top to bottom, it's tough. There are some price plays, though, throughout the card. It's a spread race, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. It's the second race on the card Saturday, the second Breeders' Cup race. Alexandra's coming back from a June layoff. She won on Belmont Day, took the diaper at Belmont Park. She's a hard-knocking filly. They're getting her ready for this. She's 12-1 on the morning line. There's some speed, well-timed move. I think she can get the money. I think the Dirt Mile Complexity is the best horse, but he got saddled with a bad draw post 10. In that Dirt Mile, the way Keeneland is configured, they start almost immediately on the clubhouse turn. It's nearly impossible to win from post 9 out. He's in post 10. The other horses in there are the one Art Collector, who we remember from the Crown Trail, and number 5, Nick's Go, who's turned into a new horse for trainer Brad Cox. He might have the run of the race on the front end. The other race is that late pick 5, and the late pick 5 always offers value. I think it's a $2 million guarantee. It'll go well over that. It starts with the sprint, which becomes a little murkier now with Vekoma coming out. I do believe, though, the other main event on the card, the Distaff, a lot of people think it's a 2-horse race between Swiss Skydiver and Monomoy Girl. Monomoy Girl missed all of 2019, having won this event in 2018 as a 3-year-old. She missed 18 months. She's come back, and many people believe she's better than ever. I don't know if she's better than ever. In a head-to-head matchup, I like Swiss Skydiver. Dunbar Road is another upset selection for me in here. Talked about Tacitus being a live long shot and being the top pick. Dunbar Road is a filly, I think, with an enormous amount of potential. Now, she's taken on 2 real heavy hitters, but taking on 2 heavy hitters, they kind of have a similar running style. And if they can hit early, along with 1 or 2 other fillies in here that may show some speed, I'm hoping for some pace. Comes off a terrible effort in the Beldame at Belmont. She comes off an effort where she was even money in the Beldame. And had she won, she'd have been the clear-cut 3rd choice behind the top 2 fillies. Now you're looking at 12 or 15 to 1 on her. Again, in the pick 4s and the pick 5s, I'm going to spread. But I think there's some value with Dunbar Road. The Euros coming over for the turf races, I don't think they're the most dependable bunch. I think Tarnawa, the filly taking on the boys in the turf, that's the race between the Distaff and the Classic. I think she's probably the most likely of the Euro winners across the 2 days. But again, that's a race where I think you could spread. Beaumont has Channel Maker in there, who's at the at the age of 6, ran the 2 best races of his life in his last 2. So it's a contentious 2 days of racing. Really looking forward to the World Championship. 37th year for the Breeders'.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of action coming up this weekend, especially Saturday with 9 races, and it culminates with the Classic at 5:13, the post time. And you can check out Anthony Stabile's betting guide for the Breeders' Cup at VegasInsider.com, as well as his selections there too. For Anthony Stabile, I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks for watching, and best of luck with your bets.